so if you came in and you got rolling, I think you should already have the first one done, right? Didn't take too long, so I'll put that one up. Least common multiple for the bottom, or the least common denominator, right? X minus 2 times x plus 1. So that's what you need for both of them. So that means 2x plus 1 has to be multiplied by x plus 1. And x minus 3 has to be multiplied by x minus 2. And that's all over the least common denominator of x minus 2 times x plus 1. Multiply out and then combine like terms. Let's see, 2x squared, 2x, x, 1, x squared, negative 2x, negative 3x, positive 6, 2x squared, x squared, so that's 3x squared, 2x, 3x, 2x, 3x, 2x, okay, so 3x and negative 3x cancel, so you just have negative 2x. 1, positive 6 is 7. Positive 6 is 7, those cancel with that, yep. Okay, so how many of you have that skill down for tomorrow?
I think I got it now.
Okay, good.
Wait, so
yep.
You take the denominator from each opposite sign and multiply it to both.
Well, it works out nicely when they're both different, because then it's essentially like, oh, I have to cross multiply, right? That's what essentially becomes. But if this was like x minus 3, x plus 1, and this one was like just x plus 1, then that would mean I need to only multiply this one by the x minus 3.
If they're both the same, you just add.
If they're both the same, then you just add.
Okay.
Yep. So you should have gotten this. You should also check if the top factors, well, let's check. 7 times 3 is 21. Negative 2, is there anything that adds the negative 2 and multiplies the 21? I can't think of anything. I don't think that factors. So you're good, but then you also have to state where it's undefined. 2 and negative 1. Go with that? All right. This one looks like we might have a little more work. Oh wait, never mind. Rewrite. X minus 4, x plus 4. So this is one where we do not cross multiply, right? The only thing I have to change is this one. So I have to multiply this. What's the special one I have to multiply by? Right. X minus 4 over x minus 4. So that means now x times x minus 4, subtract off x plus 36, and then on the bottom you have x plus 4, x minus 4. Say it again.
Cancel the x minus 4.
Why can I not do any canceling here?
Oh, because it's subtraction.
Yes, because you still have the subtraction here. If this was all multiplying, you could cancel stuff, but now you cannot. So now you have to just multiply out and then combine like terms. X squared minus 4x minus x minus 36. So x squared minus 5x minus 36. I think that one factors, right? What does that one factor into?
X plus 4 and x minus 9.
Yeah. X minus 9, x plus 4. X plus 4, x minus 4. Those cancel, so you get x minus 9 over x minus 4. And then you state the undefined terms, which are, looks like just 4 and negative 4. Okay. X cannot equal 4, negative 4. So we're good with that? Yeah? Any question? Good. Okay, and then least common multiple. Well, I'm going to write them out. I'm going to factor that one. X minus 5, x minus 1. And this one, x plus 2x minus 1. Okay. Least common multiple says you take all the different terms, and then you take their what? Highest, yeah, their highest exponent, their highest power, their highest degree. So all the different ones, x minus 5, x minus 1, x plus 2. And if you look at them, don't make this mistake of saying this one is squared, right? All of these have the degree of 1. So that means all of these are degree 1. Good?
Wait, so you never repeat them?
Well, this is one number. That's this number up here. This is one number. This number up here, right? I look at the different ones and I see all the different terms. X minus 1, x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 5. This one has degree 1, so it doesn't matter that there's two of them. They match, but the highest degree is still 1.
When are we gonna have to use this?
You use it every time when you do this. What's the least common multiple for down here? This is x minus 4 times x plus 4. This one's x plus 4. What's the least common multiple between those two? X plus 4 times x minus 4. So you're already using it. Yeah? Yes?
Wait,
Yeah.
why again isn't the x minus 1, wouldn't you put a square next to it? Was that just because you're only using one term?
This is number 1. You can think of these as numbers. This is number 2. And these are all their prime factors. Okay, so, all right. So let's try, we're going to try a couple word problems, and we're going to try and make sure we can do complex fractions. Okay. This is really easy if you just remember how to divide. It just turns into a multiplication problem. I shouldn't say it's really easy, I say it becomes easier. Carly. No Carly? Sophia? No Sophia? Okay, so tell me how to make this problem easier. Tell me how to make this problem easier. Yep. No, then you want?
You could write it as x plus 2
X plus 2.
over x squared minus 4.
Okay, but simplify that one too.
X plus 2 x minus 2.
Okay, good.
And next to it, the division.
Division.
And then x over x minus 2.
Okay. And now your neighbor there, Karsten, you tell me where to go from there.
You're gonna have to, on the second one, multiply both parts by x plus 2.
Oh.
Or, oh, no, you have to do,
Notice this is a division problem, so I don't need common denominators, but I do need to do something.
you get a reciprocal.
Reciprocal, right? Okay, so that's what I need to do. X plus 2 times. Can these x's cancel? No, right? So don't make that mistake. These x's do not cancel. But you can view this like parentheses, and you can say that because I have multiplication here, I don't have any addition, so x plus 2 cancels with that, x minus 2 cancels with that, and you have 1 up top, right? 1 over x, and then you tell me x cannot be equal to what? 0, 2, negative 2. So we're good with that? Complex fractions? Yes? Question? Why can it not equal to 2? If you come back over here, come back to the original. Yep. So you always want to go back to the original, or where you have it factored, and say, what can it not be equal to? That cancels with that cancels with that. Anything divided by itself is just 1. Yep. Okay. So now the ones that were probably the most difficult, we'll do a couple of these, the word problems, because these ones take a little bit of practice before you get down. And they're certainly not easy, and so we need some practice on them. Okay, so let's see how many people could think they or know how to solve these right now. How many people know how to solve these right now? Some of them, I see a couple. If you watched the video yesterday, you should have seen some of it, right? Yeah. So I see a couple people. Let's go through it together. I see speed, I see distance, and I see time. Speed, distance, and time, so that tells me I need my physics formula. Which one? Equals rate times time. I'm going to need to use that a lot. Tyra travels 40 miles per hour driving to the airport. 40 miles an hour. 60 miles per hour on the return trip. 60 miles per hour on the return trip. These ones you really have to draw a picture on. And let's see, what is Tyra's average speed for the entire trip? So if you watch the video, it is not this. 60 plus 40 divided by 2 is not the answer. So that is not the answer. So this problem is not that easy. So let's see, what do we have to do? So give me a suggestion. What should I do? Let's hear a suggestion.
You should combine the two. Right, but I think you could combine the 2 rates.
Not quite. Let me hear another suggestion.
I'm not sure if this is right, but in the video it said you could combine the 2 distances, so it would be 2 and if you are.
Yep, I do hear something about a total, okay? Let's look what they're asking for us. They're asking for us essentially what is the rate average or what is the total rate, all right? So write that down. We need to find out this. R total. So we need to find out the total rate, the average rate. That's what we're going to be finding. Well, what two components do we need to find then? We need to find distance total, and we need to also find time total to be able to find rate total. Well, distance total is easy. This one is D, and this one is D, so I have 2D. Total distance is 2D. Time. Well, now it would be helpful to say, what is time equal to? Time is equal to distance divided by rate. Time is equal to distance divided by rate, right? I just divided by r. Well, let's look at this trip. When she went this way in red, time is equal to, how far did she go? That's how fast she went. How far did she go? She went d. D over, how fast did she go? 40 miles per hour. What does d over 40 represent? Her time. That's her time one way. Well, let's do it for this one too. How far did she travel? Same distance, d. How fast did she go? 60. So that's time 2. That's her return. You see that? Now you're going to have time total. What's time total? Time 1 plus time 2. Well, let's add those together. Time 1 is d over 40. Whoops. Time 2 is d over 60. Before you start finding out what rate total is, let's simplify that. 60, let's just do it quickly. 60 times 40 is what, 2,400? 2,400, that's 60 times 40. 6, 12, 18, 24, yeah, that's right. I times this guy by 60, so I get 60d. I times this guy by 40, so I get 40d. So that is equal to 100d over 2,400. So now somebody piece it all together for me. How am I going to find my average rate? I hear some whisperings, but somebody tell me. Yeah? Johanna?
When you just try and find the rate,
We're trying to find the rate.
so then you would put your distance over time.
Rate is equal to distance divided by time, okay? And we're going to do that with these two, right? Rate is equal to d total over time total. And that's equal to 2d over 100d over 2,400. That looks confusing, but you know about complex fractions already. 2d, why don't you write that as a fraction? 2d is equal to 2d over 1. What do I have to do to the denominator? Multiply by the reciprocal. So times, let's see, that would be 2,400 over 100d. The d's cancel, right? D's are gone. 2 times 2,400 is 4,800 over 100. And I see that those cancel out, the zeros cancel out, so you just get 48. And we have to think about what's the units here? Miles per hour. So these multi-step problems are very time intensive. They take a little bit of practice.
If it was addition, you couldn't cancel. Could you cancel the digits?
Over here,
Yeah, when you have 2,400d over 100d, can you cancel?
If this-
Was that?
this is multiplication, but if
Yeah.
it was addition, yes, you could not cancel. Yep. You can only do it when it's multiplication. So ask some questions about this one because I think some of you are still a little confused.
Can you put up an answer key for the homework?
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so no questions on this one. I'm sure some of us do, but we're not asking, and that's not helping. So let's try another one, because I'm just assuming you still have trouble with these. So you try this one with your group members. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Same type of problem. Work equals rate times time. Okay, so give that a try. Well, yeah. What do I want to have completed with my project? At the end, I should have. Yes.
Okay, so no. You found that. So 15.
Yeah, in this one you can add things together. And what's the total work that you need to do? So you have that. Come up with an answer. We'll go over that one too. So set it up like this and see if you can fill in anything. Do you know what the total time is? Do you know what the total work is? Do you know what the total rate is?
Oh, well, the time would be like times 25, but the number of boys
Because they're working together, so you want to add it.
Yeah, the total time it
That's
takes
the
for
rate.
them to get 1,000.
Yes.
right?
So if you look at
And if you simplify them, they both divide evenly.
I didn't know.
Certain
That's the one we used for previous problem.
Of that or I'm
Wait, what is it for like?
So I just found each of their rates.
So they told you something about your rate.
Because it would be in parentheses anyway, so it'd be like, it'd be 500 over 2 plus 40, 50.
That's what I got.
And then you do division, you just get 250 plus 100, and then it's just 350.
This? Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah, but that in a pie.
Yeah, okay, but then you usually
Stable
so then
rate,
you
you gotta
go, so this is to get like, this is rate. And then work.
You can get the rate on its own, which would be easier.
2 hours.
That's a little confusing.
Getting the rate on its own.
But you said 2 or 500, what does that mean?
2 hours.
Okay.
They're not
So
working.
that
They're
is,
working
That would be about.
that is time divided by work.
each hour into
That's rate.
350.
So this is the rate time.
Keep that in, but then, let me
Yeah,
come back to that, because it might work out, but keep going with what you're doing, and then I'll put something up on the board.
Wait, you combine 500.
Would you not combine the rates? Working together.
So to make this problem easier, let's go through it. Right? What's the total work that these people have to do? 1,500 bulbs, right? 1,500 bulbs. So we know that. What are they asking us to find? Time. How long will it take? So we're trying to find that. Do I know the rate? It would be rate 1 plus rate 2, right? Rate 1. Well, how long does, or you could say rate Myra and rate, who's the other person? Francis. Okay.
That is so much better.
Rate for Myra. 500 bulbs per 2 hours, so that's 250 bulbs per hour. 250 per hour. And Francis, 450 per 3 hours, so that's 150 per hour. And that means the total rate is, no, I think it's 400, right? 400 per hour.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yep.
50.
So there's your rate. And now you can find your time,
So
your total time. Well, let's see.
I did the right thing. I just
Yeah.
did one thing.
Work equals rate time. Time equals work divided by rate. So that means this is equal to 1,500 bulbs divided by 400 bulbs per hour. If you're not good with like the physics manipulation, you have bulbs over 1. You're dividing by bulbs per hour, so that's timesing by hours divided by bulbs. And that's why the bulbs cancel, and you get back time. So 1,500 divided by 400 was what? 3.75?
7.5. Wait, that's actually what you're not.
Say it again.
Oh, that's what I got. I
You
didn't expect it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it completely on the test tomorrow?
Word problem.
I had the idea right. I just didn't.
Yeah, there'll probably be one word problem. There. 2 times. We've just done 2. Yeah, well, you're starting. You do fine. It'll be easier than the last one.
I better not make that.
Hold on, we still got more to do. I want to make sure we hit these skills, and I want you to ask questions. So, do you have questions on this one before I move forward? So, yep.
Wait,
Okay.
so how does I'm confused at like so when you always do that, it's like why didn't you multiply? Like
Why didn't I multiply what?
I never mind.
Well, I gotta know what you're talking about if I want to answer it. Why didn't I multiply what?
I was just confused at like how you divided them, but I guess it's
All from right here, right?
yeah.
Oh, are you talking about this piece too? This.
Oh, yeah. I was just confused at like why you put it.
Oh, right here again. Time is
Yeah.
work divided by rate. So if you set this up and you just use this quick formula right here and manipulate it to what you want to get, which was this, that's what we wanted to get, so that's why I solved for t. And then I just input numbers after I have them.
Are you gonna give us these formulas?
Yeah, sure, I'll give you the formula. But just, those are important, you should know them. Okay, so let's ask a couple questions about the homework. And if you say you don't have any questions about the homework, I know you're lying to me, so. Sure, yeah, the word problem. I'm telling you, these word problems are tricky. Okay. Well, so let's read through it. This messenger is doing work. So work equals rate times time. So I'm going to write that down. Messenger is required to deliver 10 packages per day. Each day, the messenger works only for as long as it takes to deliver the daily quota of 10 packages. On average, the messenger is able to deliver 2 packages per hour on Saturday. Okay, so I have a rate for Saturday. Rate for Saturday. I'm going to write that down. And I also have a rate for Sunday, which is 4 packages per hour. So rate for Sunday. So I'm going to start pulling things out that I know. Rate for Saturday is 2 packages per hour. Rate for Sunday, 4 packages per hour. And let's see what else. What is the messenger's average delivery rate on the weekend? Average delivery rate on the weekend. So here's where you need to set up. This is where you need to set up the totals. W total, rate total, and time total. Okay? So W total, rate total, time total. Because they told you something implicitly here. They kind of sneakily told you something. What did they tell? Which one of these did they give you in a sneaky way? Hmm? Oh, Pamela, you said the work. Why? What is the work? What is the total work? Pamela?
Well, it gives you like the amount of packages delivered each day.
Okay. And how many days are we talking about? 2. So that means my total work is 20. So you see how sneaky that was? 20 package. What are we trying to find? Average delivery rate. So we want to find that. Time. That means I need things in terms. I need time. All right. So let's find out what time is. Work is equal to rate times time. So time equals work divided by rate. So let's see the time for Saturday. Time for Saturday is work divided by rate. Well, how many packages did they deliver on Saturday? 10. How fast did they go? 2, right? So that means their time, they spent 5 hours. Time for Sunday? Well, how many packages? 10. How fast? 4. So that means it's 2.5. So let's see, what else do we need to do? That means the total time then would be 7.5. And now this will just be a nice easy division problem because rate is equal to work divided by time. Work is 20. Time is 7.5. And if you do that, it is 8/3, 2.66 repeating. Yep. Yep. All right, 2.66 repeating or 8/3. Okay. So, what questions do you have about this one? Yep, Cora.
It's just like a general question about like these types of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that different? Like, how do we get a different answer than if you were just to say like, okay, like 2 packages one day, 4, add those 2 together, divide by 2. Why is that like a different answer?
Well, I don't have a strong answer for you right now. There's variation. So, I mean, I don't have like, I should have a clear answer for you right now, but I do not. I just, there's variation, and so you cannot simply just say, oh yeah, they went this fast then, they went this fast then, divide that by 2. Because those 2 days, if you divide by 2, right, that's assuming that they're equal. Like this part is equal to this part, but these 2 different days are kind of separate cases. So that's my explanation. It's different each day. And that's what you have to account for right here. Say it again. Right, but when you're working with that, there's all these numbers are representing something, and they're representing, generally when you're doing your science classes, they're all representing the same thing. There's no variation. They're all representing the same thing. So if I want to take the average number of students in all my classes, for example, I add up all the students, right? I divide by my number of classes, and then I have my students per class. I can do that because everything's the same. There's no variation. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's just kind of like it's not the best answer, but maybe it gives you a sense of why this is true. Okay. Is there any other one from the homework you wanted to go over? Yep, a couple here. Let's see. Mary and then Cora.
Can you do
Number 9? Let's see if anybody wants to come up and do 9. Anybody want to come up and get that presentation out of the way and do 9? Carson, you want to come up? You got to
See how well I can do it.
What's the other one, Cora? Which one do you want?
6.
6. Mainly, do you want to do 6? Yeah. Okay, so walk us through it. Talk us through it.
So first, you can make this easier by just setting it up like x minus 1 over x plus 5 as divided by x plus 6 over x minus 3. But because you're dividing, you're going to have to do the reciprocal.
Mhm.
So x equals 1 x plus 6, and then, no, yeah, and then that's and then you add multiplier
Ask yourself, what is the operation? What's the operation?
multiplication.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
multiply across. There's nothing you can mess up. X is
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're good? Does that work? You good with that? Yeah. Thanks, Carson. Nice job. Mhm. Well, you have a question about 5, which is similar to what Mei Li is going to do for us, which is 6. So why don't you listen to Mei Li, and then, yeah, maybe that'll answer your question. Okay, so thank you, Mei Li, and let's get this pin ready for you. There you go. Talk us through it.
Can I like first write it then talk?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna write it here.
So it doesn't get so cramped, why don't you bring it on over to the left-hand side there?
How do we do that?
Oh, just, just draw it around and bring your work over here.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I rewrote it and then I factored out that part. So like, yeah. And then you see like that x minus 6, like they both fractions have the same one. So you want to make them the same so you can like minus them. So I brought x plus 3 and I times it by the x plus 3 over x plus 3. And then that's like the long version, and I shortened it. And then, yeah, and I minused it, so like the final answer would be 2x squared plus 5 over x minus 6 and x plus 3. And the x's can't be 6 and negative 3.
Okay, so let's give it up for Maylee. And I'm going to do a little bit of correcting here, but you sit down and so you can correct it. This is good. This step is good. This step is good. Nice job there. Both of those are good. This conclusion is correct, what x cannot be equal to. So Maylee, this is correct. This is correct. This is correct. But here I see a mistake. X squared, x plus 2 times x plus 3 is x squared plus 5x plus 6. So small mistake. X times x is x squared. 3x, 2x, 3 times 2 is 6. So then if you combine all these things, 3x squared minus x squared, you do get the 2x squared. 3x, we have a minus 5x, so there should be a minus 5x here. And then we have a 1 minus 6, so that should be a negative 7. Does that look right? If you did this? Yeah? Yeah, so that should be correct. And then I say, does this factor? 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. Can I find something that adds to negative 5, multiplies to negative 14? Yeah. Negative 7 and 2. So this thing should factor. And why don't we just find out before we leave what it factors into? So minus 5x. Minus 7. What does it factor into if you did it? 2x. What are my two numbers that I need? Minus 7 plus 1. 2x squared. So don't back up yet, please. I would like you to stay and finish. 2x squared. 2x. Yep. That's right. Thank you, Mary. So that means factored. We would have put this up top. Nothing else cancels, so you're fine. Yeah. Before you leave it, Anna, you had a question.
Is there any, for the second step she did, is there any, that one, is there any other way you would have done that? I'm just confused about getting the same denominator.
Getting the same denominator. You ask yourself, what's missing from this x minus 6? And x plus 3. So you need to multiply by our special 1, which is x plus 3 over x plus 3. Hold up, you have to take this before you leave.
Oh yeah.
Okay, take this worksheet before you leave. Practice for tonight. Take the worksheet before you leave.
I realized I never did the same because I wasn't there on Thursday, and then Friday I hadn't done it yet. So could I come after school?
Sure. Yeah. So come by tomorrow or today.
Either one.
Okay. I'll be here today. So.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't, the need to know skill that didn't turn it in, but I got it done like it.
No, it's the past 3 days. Why didn't you get in? So, Nick, do you have an organizer?
No.
Well, find a way to get better organized, because I have noticed, this has happened multiple times, and there's no reason why you should lose points if you've got it done. Right? So.
I just wanted to double check with you that you're still there after school Monday. Yes. Okay.
So, after school Monday.
Sounds good. Thank you. I had a few questions from the video. Just for one of them, I think it was 1 over x. I think that was the original. I'm not quite sure. It was I was curious why 2x was what was
Because this one has an x, this one has an x. Well, what's this one missing? It's missing a 2, so I need to times this guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think Okay, that was answered already. And then
I watched like 1.5.
oh, and these are cancelled because there's addition.
Why can that equal to 1 and 0?
Yeah.
It can't equal to 1 because of right here. It cannot equal to 0 because of right
Right there.
Oh. No, 0 is in, yes, no, it cannot equal to 0 because this would be undefined. So it cannot equal to 0 because it's in the denominator.
Oh, okay. And then if you plugged it in,
And also it cannot equal
so it cannot equal 2?
2. Right?
Okay. Okay, I looked on the video, it didn't say 2, so I was curious why it.
Yeah, it should have said 2 as well.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
yep, see ya.
Can't I won't be here tomorrow because for Pet Fest.
Oh, okay.
We had to
Won't
watch
be here.
videos.
So that means we'll want to take the assessment Monday.
Alright.
What are you doing in Pet Fest?
Gymnastics.
Oh, wow, okay. I'll have to make it out there and see you all.
Like that.
And what?
I can't make me.
Oh, yeah, I just found mine.
When you come in, there's a problem to get started on.